Nothing makes you shit your pants like watching a scary movie, and after you finish the movie, you find out that it was based on a true story. But this movie does a good gesture of telling you that it was based on a true story before you start watching the movie. That way, you have time to wipe your ass. Anyway, I'm talking about the Conjuring movie. I saw this a couple of days back and I really liked it, which was surprising because I thought it wouldn't be that good because many people said that they didn't like the previous Conjuring movies. I never saw those, so I can't tell you that you're gonna like this movie based on the previous movies, but what I can tell you that you will really like this movie if you like scary movies, and it because it was really scary in my opinion. So let's talk about this. I'll be getting into some tiny spoilers here and there, nothing big. So let's talk about story. I think the story was really good and interesting. They get really deep into the story and characters and everything that happens in this movie. They get like really deep into it, which I like. And they wrap everything up at the end. Like, everything that like is going on, they wrap it up because they know it's the last movie in the franchise. So I really like that. It's a really good movie to wrap up the franchise in my opinion. And everything that happens in this movie builds up. And this movie doesn't waste time. This movie is about like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think, something like that, and it doesn't waste any time, which I like. Like for example, in many scary movies, when something demonic, something supernatural happens, like people who are experiencing that event, they just don't want to accept it and they refuse to admit that something supernatural is going on in many movies. But in this movie, that doesn't happen. So the family that's going through this stuff, they go through like 2 or 3 events like max, and then they're sure that something is going on, and then they start looking for a solution, and then they go to Lorraine and Ed, who are these 2 couple that solve these demonic problems. So the movie doesn't waste any time, which I really liked. Let's talk about characters in this movie. I think the characters were really good, and relationship, like I said, the relationship between each other was natural, and everything that they did it for a reason. But well, there are some things that kind of don't make sense, but I suppose it's a scary movie and it is based on a true story, so it kind of makes sense. Like for example, there is this scene where Judy, she's a new character, I think. So she hears this voice, her mom voice, and she follows that voice and she goes upstairs to investigate that voice. But she goes up there and her mother is not there, and then she tries to go back, and when she does, she hears a voice again. Now this time the voice is one of the kids from the family that they're helping, and I feel like it should have been obvious at that point that the voices you're hearing are not real. And then she goes back to investigate that voice, like literally just goes back, and guess who it is? It's fucking Annabelle, which I really liked, by the way. Like they brought back Annabelle for like 2 or 3 scenes, and that was really hyped in my opinion, and I really liked it. But I suppose again it's based on a true story, so it kind of makes sense. I really like that this movie does everything good. What I mean is that it's obviously like the main thing in this movie is like the movie being scary, but it's like that's not it. This movie does everything well, which is I think really good. Like comedy, suspense, characters, story, everything that this movie has, it does it really well. Like most of the movies that come out recently, so let's say it's a comedy movie or it's a scary movie or it's like a fucking action movie, they do that, but that's the only thing they focus on. The rest of the thing, like story and characters, they fuck that shit up. Like they don't give a fuck about that. They only focus on one aspect of the movie, mostly comedy movies. But anyway, this movie is just like decent in my opinion. I think if you like scary movies, you will like it. And I feel like even if you're a fan of Conjuring movies, you're still gonna like it because it does a good job of being the last movie, and it does wrap everything up. And it's really a wholesome movie overall. But at the same time, it's being scary as well. But at the same time, it's being a wholesome movie as well. So it is a really, really decent movie at the end. Also, I saw many people are saying that it is not a scary movie. I was just sitting there doing nothing, and nothing happens in the movie. And I feel like that's such a stupid shit to say about a movie that is based on a true story. Like it is, yes, it is a really scary movie if it's based on a true story, because that shit really happened. Those were real people. Well, they were actors, but they were real people, and that shit actually happened, and that makes you scared. Well, does it to me anyway. Like, and then they're saying that nothing happens, which is stupid as well, because no demon is gonna fucking pull out their sword and kill like 10 people. Like, that's not happening. It's a realistic movie because it's based on a true story. Also, one more thing I like in this movie, that at the end of the movie they show you the real pictures of the house and the family and the people who have been through this stuff, which was really good too, in my opinion. I really like that. They show you all the characters, Lorraine, Ed, Judy, and the family who have been through this stuff, and even the house as well and everything. So yeah, overall I think it's a really good movie. I'm not even a big fan of scary movies, but I still watch them. But I don't like, they're not my favorite genre. But this movie is just was good, and it does, like I said, it does everything good, not just the horror aspect of the movie, which is really important. And many movies don't do that. Anyway, that's it. I'll see ya.